All right, I have no intro for this. I don't know what this will be called, but I am joined again by my friend Kyle, and we are going to be discussing all things football slash soccer, which is what most people know it as. We'll go into just random news. We'll go talk about the World Cup. We'll probably go on tangents about coaching and which teams we hate and which teams we love and what players we hate and players we love.
For no reason either.
For no reason. There's
no
no rhyme or reason
hate certain players.
to any of this. I think I'm just going to leave that off. Oh, boy. I'm not getting up every 15 minutes for that.
I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw a notification that the Union beat DC United 7-0.
Yes, they did. The Union are not a bad team anymore. And
It's
I
a
guess
miracle.
DC United is a bad team. But I'm just going to be reading things off of FootMob. If anybody wonders where I get any of this. In the headlines today.
And I haven't seen any of this, so I'm just going to be spitballing here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just
idea.
reading article titles. Nothing, unless something's really interesting, we'll read up on it. The first one is that it talks about the failed loan of Saul Niguez, if I'm saying his name right, from Atletico Madrid to Chelsea. He's grateful despite complicated Chelsea loan upon Atletico Madrid return. Complicated is a nice word for I didn't play at all.
Yeah, I completely forgot. You mentioned that a couple weeks ago that he was on the team, and I was like, wait, what? Because I forgot about him. It's a shame. He was doing well.
He was a good player. I remember when Atletico Madrid was making their runs in the Champions League, and he dribbled up three people on Bayern Munich and slotted one past Mr. Neuer.
Yeah. Was he their captain?
No, Koke or Godin.
Yeah, Koke, that makes sense.
Godin was the
He
captain.
was a good player, and then he
was getting called up to Spain squad, and he moved to your favorite club, Chelsea. And
my favorite club in the world.
But Atletico Madrid's probably happy to get him back. I know they just signed some people as well. I can't remember. They had striker go back there.
Yeah.
I think Morata is heading back there as well. But there's continued pursuit of Rafinha from Leeds. He's going to be left out of the preseason tour.
Interesting.
Which just means he will be gone.
Well, Man City will buy him. That's what will happen. They'll spend.
I haven't seen any interest from them. It's
178 million for
Barcelona and Liverpool have been the most sought after clubs for him. I mean, he was a good player, but I watched Leeds play a few times. He's their standout guy, but is he ready for the next level?
Does he play wing back?
No. I mean, he probably could, but he's mainly
he's a winger.
Probably right wing. He's a left-footed right winger.
That makes sense. Every time I watch him, he's up and back.
But I don't know, with that style play, maybe they put him on somebody to play wing back. Our new favorite position as coaches.
Yes.
Get a technical player on as a wing back and have them do all the work.
Get them the ball and have them play the ball out wide, play it in, play it out, play it in, play it in, play it out.
And according to our boys, it makes us unbeatable. We did lose. The formation change is a magical thing for a young mind. Or it's the corruption of playing FIFA. Because I know, at least for me, when I changed formation playing FIFA, the results would change.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. It's just like, if I just play like this, I think it just refreshes your mind to do something different than the same thing you were doing for 10 games in a row. So you're just like, oh, now it's all better. But then after 10 games, it kind of goes down the drain again. It gets stale. Our favorite player, Richarlison, wants to make history at Tottenham. He's ready to do that.
Well, he won't do it at Tottenham.
You don't think Antonio Conte will bring Tottenham into the sun?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
maybe.
Are they in the
Tottenham-
Champions League this year? They are,
Yes,
right?
they are. Arsenal missed out.
You can't put anything past him. He's a great coach. He's a great match. This is the team I'm playing. This is the match. Let me adjust to this team so I can beat them. Get a result. He's great doing that.
I think he's bringing a lot of players in, a lot of interest to actually go there. I don't know if Richarlison's the one I'm excited about. But
Yeah.
actually being able to sign some defensive talent is important.
Is Richarlison going to want to not have the ball for 75 minutes of the game and then get 2 opportunities to score? Is that what he wants to do? Because that's what he'll be doing at Tottenham.
And he'll have a coach that's going to let him have it if he's not doing the right thing.
If he's not working his
Can
ass
his
off.
ego
Is
handle
that what he
being yelled
wants?
at? Was Frank Lampard yelling at him?
Right.
I don't know.
Frank Lampard. He's another one.
I listened to him. Phil Neville has some bit on Sky Sports where like he's just interviewing, whether it's 20 questions or 50 questions. It's rather refreshing to listen to Lampard talk.
Is he pretty knowledgeable?
He's pretty knowledgeable. He's very articulate, and he's just kind of good at speaking.
Okay.
Because I love Steven Gerrard a whole lot better than Frank Lampard, but it was more interesting to listen to Lampard speak and how he would tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's going to end up being a good manager.
He brought up he had run into Mourinho on the street after he was sacked for Chelsea, and Mourinho came up and said, "Now you're a real manager. You've been sacked." And he gave him a hug.
That's awesome. That's typical Jose Mourinho for you.
How many times has that guy been sacked?
Right. You would know. That's amazing.
Now you're a manager.
That's amazing.
You weren't a manager before, but now you are.
I really like that. That's amazing.
They're saying Jose Mourinho is turning a new leaf, and he's not a madman anymore.
Has his style changed? That's the question. Hey, he won the Conference League.
He's won every
literally
European
no one
trophy.
else can say they've won the Conference League.
And the Europa and the Champions League in their tenure. Roma wasn't. They weren't boring to watch every time I saw him play.
Well, you would watch him more than I would.
Had some pretty exciting games. He revitalized Tammy Abraham's career by bringing him in. He scored like 16 goals. And I think he's trying to push the board to bring Paulo Dybala.
Interesting.
Everybody's after him. Napoli wants him, Inter wants him, and now Roma, along with various England teams.
He's on Juve, right?
Yeah, right now. But he's for sure not going to be at Juve next season. Okay. It's where he'll land. Yeah. A player who was like shunned from the Argentinian squad.
He was a good player.
He was pivotal in Juventus winning. I think the one season he carried that team. As much as I hate Juventus, I can't say that he wasn't pivotal. Some 90-minute penalties for Juventus in Serie A.
Imagine that.
A lot of that going on there, but we'll leave it at Paulo Dybala is a difference maker, and he knows how to win trophies. Where do you think Ronaldo is going to land?
Well, I read something that Chelsea wants him. So I don't know. I mean, I know he's not coming back to Man U.
All those big chances that Lukaku missed. He doesn't miss that header point blank against Real Madrid to put the game away.
Is it too early for him to go to the MLS? Probably.
I don't think it's too early. It's whatever he wants to do.
Does he feel like he could win another Champions League or be involved in a title?
Obviously, yeah, that's what he wants to do.
maybe.
I wouldn't waste time going to the MLS, but you can look at Ibrahimovic. He went to the MLS and it was like, I'm coming back to the top flight, and helped win the Scudetto.
What I think would be cool is if he went back to Sporting Lisbon. I don't think he will, because I just don't think that the league is like, it's a decent league, but I don't think it's the caliber that he would want.
Yeah, I think if he takes a step down, it's America.
Right. If he drops down, he's going to LA Galaxy, or he's going to Miami, or it would be interesting if he went back to Real Madrid, though. That's a thought I have.
I don't know how that works. Benzema's the number 9.
Yeah,
and he doesn't play left wing anymore.
Just wouldn't surprise me if he went. Carlo Ancelotti has magic. Is he going to call him back?
I don't think they want him. I don't think they want him.
But I have no idea where he's going to go. I mean, at this point, Man City could offer $200 million for him. I don't know. They have that money, so
I think Chelsea's a good spot for him.
You think so?
For what they need, they need a clinical finisher.
But they have one, Nate. What happened to him?
Well, he's gone. Well, then they have their other clinical finisher, Timo Werner.
Yeah. Timo Werner.
Let's talk about Lukaku.
Okay.
What's your deal with Lukaku? For those that don't know, Kyle has a supreme, jokingly sometimes, hatred for Romelu Lukaku.
I just think that he is one of those players who does really well in games that don't matter against teams that aren't very good. And that when it's down to the wire, whether he's playing for Belgium or when he was playing for Chelsea, like when it's down to the wire and he gets a shot, he's going to miss the shot. He's going to blow it over the bar. He's going to hit the goalie. How many open nets has he missed? How many, if you look up the record, I forget what it is, but like last season alone, the record he had, I think it was like against all the top 6 teams, he had no goals.
I'm going to look that up.
But the conundrum about it, obviously he did really well with Inter.
Right.
And the Serie A isn't, I think, is up to the quality of the Premier League, but he does well for Inter. So maybe I'm wrong.
They played the wrong system for him in Chelsea.
Right. I just also don't understand. Obviously, I can be this guy that sits in this room and talks bad about coaches, but why would Tuchel buy someone like Lukaku and then not adjust the style of the team to him? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes sense.
It's not like they were lumping balls into the box all the time. They weren't. So if you could find that statistic, that would be great, because that would basically win me my argument. He doesn't score goals in big games. I'm telling you, I know we're not talking about the World Cup yet, but when we talk about the World Cup, there's going to be a game where Belgium is playing against Spain or Argentina or Netherlands, and they're going to lose because Lukaku did not score. We're 6 months out, and I'm guaranteeing that shit. It'll be a game where they got to win the group, or they're in the quarterfinals, they got to beat England, they got to beat. They're playing Tunisia. Okay, he'll score, no problem. But when he's playing Spain, no, he's not scoring a goal.
So Lukaku's record against the best Premier League clubs. I guess this is when he wasn't for Chelsea. He played against them 10 times.
For Inter.
Well, he also
team.
I think this is for any team, because
Okay.
he had some stints at Man United and West Brom and Everton.
Everton, yeah.
Played Chelsea 10 times. He scored on them once.
Okay.
He played against Arsenal 18 times. He has 4 goals. He played against Tottenham 13 times. And that's the one. You got to score on Tottenham. Only one. Played Man City 17 times, 5 goals. Man United, he played 11 goals. He had 3 goals, and I think that happened in one game.
Okay.
When he played for West Brom.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he scored a hat trick on them. And he played Liverpool 16 times and has 5 goals. So, I don't know. I can't compare that to anybody else, but that's the closest.
Right, and that's not awful. But also, you paid him $100 million. He's supposed to be like one of the best clinical finishers in the world.
And that
right?
wasn't just this season.
Right. Yeah, and I just get sour about players who are doing really well for their club and then they take a step up and they struggle. And I guess I'm just pessimistic, right? And Liverpool takes these teams too, these players, but what's his stats for Belgium?
I'm not sure. I can look that up next. But if you add up all these games, which is what I'm doing.
Yes.
It's 85 matches.
Okay. Against
10,
the top
13,
4.
14, 15. That's 19 goals in 85 matches.
Against the top 4.
Which is not, if you're comparing, if you're judging like.
That's 1 goal every 4 games.
Yeah, just say that was your tenure at a club. You're just like, wow, he wasn't too prolific.
Wait, so it's 85 matches.
85 matches of the top teams. And it was 13, 14, 19 goals. 85 matches, 19 goals.
So that's an average of basically a little more than 1 goal every 4 games.
Right, because like if you look at like when Erling Haaland left Borussia Dortmund, it was like 80 goals in 83 games,
which is insane.
It's very insane.
If he scored 40 goals in 85 matches,
that's really good. A goal every other game.
But he's scoring a goal every. So that's like you play the top 4 twice each year.
Yep.
So he scores out of, let's say you play Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool. He scores 1 goal in one of those games.
Pretty much.
That's awful.
Yep.
I don't need my argument. I want it. I just want it. My argument.
His 2 most prolific tenures are Inter and Everton.
Yeah.
He had 133 matches for Everton. He scored 71 goals.
That's pretty good.
Inter, 95 matches, 64 goals.
So is it the pressure that's gotten to him? Is he getting older? Is he getting found out? I don't know.
It's just some people in those moments. It's just
mental aspect.
Some people become Kobe Bryant and some people don't. And like, and to say all that, like he's a fantastic striker. It's not to take anything away from him as an athlete. I certainly can't do what he's doing. He's
certainly better than Christian Benteke.
Right. He's a 6'3", like 200-pound monster.
Right.
But that's also just like, all right, man. So why aren't you like doing it?
Right.
When it matters, like you wanted to go be Didier Drogba. Your words at Chelsea. That didn't necessarily happen. And why does it only Why is it only 1 year? They must have also wanted him to leave. I think. But like, you only give it one season, then you're off.
Right.
But Inter's attack could be Lautaro Martinez, Lukaku, and Dybala.
It's a pretty strong attack.
Angela's cousin Nello's an Inter fan, and he's already considering Dybala is signed and it's
signed, sealed, and delivered.
The Scudetto is wrapped up.
Well,
and he also thinks they're going to get Koulibaly as well.
I don't know about that.
And with all of that, if that all happens, though,
yes, they'll win the Scudetto.
I would wager that they would win that. But you wanted to know his Belgium record.
Yeah, I'm curious about his Belgium record.
102 caps, 68 goals.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But how many games are they playing against San Marino? That's the question.
How many friendly goals compared to how many in the Euros?
Can we look up how many World Cup goals Lukaku has?
Yeah.
I realize this podcast has now become about Romelu Lukaku.
This is the standard we're going to set.
Or, yeah, let's see his World Cup goals, and then maybe we could even find how many goals he scored after the group stage of the World Cup. That will probably be 0. And he's not the only Belgian player that's like this.
I mean,
and we'll talk about this later, but I just don't ever believe in Belgium. I remember when they had that, the U.S. played Belgium in the World Cup, and it was like Tim Howard's greatest ever performance as a goalkeeper. However, he had like 16 saves. However, like 14 of them were shot right at him because Belgium can't finish.
Lukaku has scored more goals in friendlies than any other format with 22. He has scored 18 goals in qualifying for the World Cup, 5 in World Cup finals, 7 in qualifying for the Euros, 6 in Euro finals matches, 10 in the UEFA Nations League.
So the majority of the goals he scored were in friendlies.
22 is his highest. He has 18 in the qualifying for the World Cup.
Well, Belgium kills it in qualifying. That's always
7 it was 5 in World Cup finals.
7.
5.
5 goals in the World Cup finals, and he's been to what, 3 World Cups?
That's groups and ladder stages combined.
Yeah.
It has to be 2 or 3. I really don't know.
Probably.
If you got like Miroslav Klose's record's like 17 or something.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
$16. That's like the best you can do. Get to 4 World Cups and
score 4 goals in each of them.
Try to at least get 4. Mueller was on pace. He had 5 in like 2 in a row.
I remember that.
And then he didn't have any. He scored a lot less when they won, I think. Let's see if there's any more interesting news here.
Yeah.
Ajax considers, or Man United, there's this Ajax pair that I don't know a lot about that they're trying to get.
Who's
like
that?
Antony and Lisandro Martinez.
Interesting.
One's a striker, and I don't know who's.
Well, a quarter of Man U next year, a quarter of the squad will be from Ajax.
Right.
I mean, that's just how it is. If not more than a quarter.
You got Pogba and Di Maria going to Juventus.
I saw that. Man, they're really going for youth, aren't they?
I like the signing for Di Maria for them. He suits them, but Pogba's like, what did he really do for United?
What did he really do? I mean, for anybody, what did he really do? He won the Euros when they had the incredible team.
When you're partnered with an N'Golo Kante.
Right. You don't have to do anything.
Which is what you got to have to do for this guy.
Right.
When Juventus made it to the Champions League final with him, God, Pirlo's just spraying balls all over the place.
Was Vidal on that team as well?
I think so. He's garbage man.
Yeah, he's the defensive.
Pirlo's got the brains, and they're just like, you don't really need to. You're just gonna go play around. Which when you utilize him as a guy who can just kind of dribble people up, like he's not a bad player in that sense. But everything else, I know Popple, Greek Pete, he never liked him either. Yeah, but I mean, he can pull out a moment here or there, but I don't think Juventus gets any much better from that. So he's undergoing his medical right now. Bale was just unveiled at LAFC.
That's a great signing.
And Chiellini was on the bench for that game. Bale wasn't on the bench just yet.
That's a great signing. They won last night too.
Yeah, 3-2. Jovic, he leaves Real Madrid for Fiorentina. Never really did much there. Dembele might be renewing at Barcelona. Pretty much saved his season, or saved his career there in the last season here. I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang coming back there kind of revitalized him. Because he was, in my opinion, phenomenal at Dortmund. Just scintillating on the wing, and he knew how to hit somebody on the forehead. His assist rate was pretty immaculate, but he wasn't really. They didn't have a striker for him to really do that, and he wasn't really playing with a lot of. I think he was just trying to be Messi. Like, you're not Messi, dude. You gotta play your game. Started playing his game, and he started looking pretty good again. Which when we were Liverpool was kind of linked with him, and I was getting like I'd be okay with that, but people apparently want to just be at Barcelona even though they're in shambles. Sterling going to Chelsea. Get the women's Euros going on right now. There was a lot of blowouts.
Of course there were.
The U.S. women clinched their World Cup spot for 2023.
Who'd they play to win that?
Jamaica.
What was the score?
Like 5-0.
Okay.
I clicked on that link on ESPN, and then the headline was, "Is U.S. losing their grip on dominating?" No. I was just like, they just won 5-0.
The reason why it's hard for me to watch that is the parity of each game. Like you said, it's like Sweden, Germany, Japan, U.S., Brazil. All the other teams are garbage.
I think Norway's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, they have that player from, she plays on PSG. I forgot what her name is. Or no, not PSG, Lyon.
No. Oh yeah, Lyon is the top club. Not PSG. Lyon wins everything.
She's really good.
And she was the one boycotting. She wasn't playing.
That's right.
And her name is, I'm going to say it wrong. Hegerberg? Something like that. Ada Stolsmo Hegerberg.
Okay.
Plays for Lyon and is the striker. She had an assist in a 4-1 win over Northern Ireland yesterday. But when you click, I was looking at the Spain squad and the German squad. All the German ladies either play for Wolfsburg or Bayern Munich. And the Spain squad's the same as the men's squad. Everybody plays for Barcelona. So you all play together. I just thought that was interesting how that transfers. Pretty much already teammates anyway. Spain had 3 headers. There's a close game right now going on. Portugal's playing Switzerland. It's 2-2.
Interesting.
Switzerland scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game. And then in the 59th and 65th minute, Portugal equalized. So it's a tale of 2 halves.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Mentality.
That's right.
Something that we preach to our boys that we coach. Till 2-0 down, should it mean that we stop playing? Especially that early.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think so. Hey, why even show up? I want to play. I'll play at 5-0 down. I don't care.
Well, there's always a chance at 5-0 down that you can get back in the game.
Right.
You never know, but there's always a chance.
Maybe
right?
an indoor 5-0 is not too bad. Dries Mertens ready to take a pay cut to stay at Napoli.
Good for him. What a great player.
I was learning about Napoli, like they are like the most underpaid top flight team. Everybody gets paid like a certain amount of money. You don't get more money than that, and then that's it. There's no super players,
and everyone's content with that.
Apparently.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not like they have to be there. But he's their top scorer of all time.
Interesting.
Over Maradona. Yep. Napoli prepared, trying to keep hold of Koulibaly. Just Inter, Juventus, Chelsea,
everybody wants
Barcelona. Every year they want him. I remember I was talking to Ali about him. He says he's a dirty player.
Well, Ali likes Juve, that's why.
But I was just like, I think you would like him if he was on your team. It might happen. Then all of a sudden I'll see what he says when they win. Because it's him. Like, you like him now? He's winning all your games for you. I saw him live.
Yes, you did.
He had a goal line clearance, and it was amazing. He's the real deal, and I don't think he's a dirty player. I think he's very physical, and when you play center back, you're gonna get somebody. It's just gonna happen. I've made a few. It probably would look dirty. I had no intent to hurt anybody, and I don't think I did. I didn't actually hurt anybody, but some challenges that would like maybe cause a fight. You got to go in, man. You can't just like let them walk.
You have to use your body.
You can't let them walk into the goal, and sometimes your timing's off. Other than that, there's not really too much going on in the world of soccer.
It's a slow time of year
Well,
for the beautiful game.
What do you think in terms of the Premier League? Have Liverpool bolstered their squad enough to go toe-to-toe with City again?
Well, it's important that you say again because they did go toe-to-toe with them.
Right.
They were very close
it's
to
been past 3
beating them
seasons.
out,
It's just been two heavyweights clobbering each other. Not indirectly, because they're just maintaining momentum throughout an entire season.
I'm bummed that Mane's gone, obviously. I'm sure that Klopp knew something was going to happen, which is why he signed Diaz. So I have to have faith in Nunez and the other players that they're going to sign, you know what I mean? Harvey Elliott's back. He didn't really feature too much last year, so
After he broke his foot.
yeah. And I'd certainly be interested in who they're signing. Like, I think they should sign some more players. I don't know who. I don't know what positions. Is Bobby Firmino, is he staying, or what's his deal? Are we getting a number 9? Are we?
Well, Nunez is the number 9.
I guess.
That's where he plays.
Right. Okay. More to me, more important than who they signed is their energy level and their hunger going to be the same? Because it's hard year after year to like have that.
Right, it doesn't last forever. Like Atletico Madrid made it to like 2 Champions League finals in a row, and then that was it. It drops off.
So are they going to be able to match that?
Who falls first? You know, City or Liverpool in like scoring 95 points a season. Right. Like it's the sustainability that will be lost by one of the teams eventually. Not that one of them won't win, but like it's when Leicester won the title. It was the like lowest scoring points wise season, which is why everybody was like, one of these other teams is going to snatch up on it, but like. There were some
teams that were floundering and rebuilding, and The thing about it though is I'm not as worried or as if I was a Chelsea fan or Man U, like it seems like that's all about the players. But City and Liverpool have a system. So I'm not really worried about who they bring in or don't bring in or who they sell because they have a system. It's been in place for years now. And that system obviously is successful for both teams. So if 3 backroom staff and Klopp were to leave, then I would be more concerned.
Right. Makes sense.
And Mane was a great Liverpool player. Love him. Great student, servant to the club, student of the game. But again, it's a system. So the next man will step up, and if that's Nunez, if that's Elliott, if that's Bobby Firmino back from the dead.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, we don't
Apparently
know.
still at the club.
But it's a system, so I'm not too worried about it. And we still have James Milner. I mean,
the stalwart.
How can you not?
Setting the bar.
I saw a picture of him pulling the sled. And dude, he's ripped.
Yeah.
And he's like 35, man. He's intense.
He's who I want to be.
He's not going to let the Liverpool players drop off.
He's 36.
He's intense, man. He's not going anywhere. Oh, you need me to play left back? All right, no problem. Oh, you need me to play center mid? All right, I'll play there. You need me to play right back? All right, I'll fill in. No problem.
Between 2010 to now, he had 203 caps for City, and he's almost at 300 caps for Liverpool. It's crazy. Now
that's incredible.
Iron Giants of the Premier League.
So I'm not too worried about them. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna try to predict before we go in the World Cup. I'm gonna make early predictions on who's gonna win the league, and I'm gonna try to not bring bias.
But you think Liverpool's gonna win the league?
I'm thinking about it right now.
I mean, it's gonna be City or Liverpool, right? It's gonna be one of them.
I can't make.
Tottenham's not winning the league.
Because I'm even thinking, I'm trying to think like, okay.
Brighton.
When Conte
might win the league.
Was coaching at Juve, trying to think of their peak performance.
Yeah.
I still think City's better.
Yeah.
I still think when Liverpool's at their top, they're better than that. So, I don't have Tottenham. Maybe they place third. I think that's entirely possible. Arsenal I think they'll get better.
They're still too young, though. 3 years from now, I think Arsenal will challenge for the title.
Yeah, I think if Chelsea gets Ronaldo, they might repeat what they did last year, and they'll be at the top of the league in the beginning of the season.
But they'll falter.
Exactly. They'll falter again. Going off of just that I have unknowns on some of the players of Liverpool. Obviously, my heart tells me Liverpool.
Absolutely.
But my brain, I will try to be non-biased, and I think City will win the league.
And lose in the Champions League again.
Maybe. I'm terrified that if Erling Haaland scores at the same rate that he did for Dortmund,
absolutely,
that I don't know how you stop him.
And I want to joke around and be like, ha 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 about it, but I agree with you. I'm also terrified.
That's why I'm picking them, because they were good without a striker, and they won the league and made it in almost, other than Real Madrid pulling magical rabbits out of a hat 3 times in a row. Oh, I'm sorry. Erling's goal scoring rate: 89 games, 86 goals.
That's insane.
It's insane. And all they do is make chances. They make more chances than Dortmund, so I'm a little scared.
All he needs to do is put him away.
Right. And he's great at that. So we'll see. Plugging in talent to talent doesn't always mean it. So they look so much better on paper, and that doesn't always do it. Maybe the pieces that Klopp puts together, because he's great at doing that, and he gets the system flowing again, which is possible. And I'm not saying Liverpool's out, but brain's telling me City. I think Erling Haaland fits in because he's just that kind of a beast. Like,
right.
It's not just plugging talent to talent. Like, there's a reason he's at that level. He's gonna perform because it's what he's a Viking.
And a lot of like playing and adjusting to the Premier League is really difficult. Like David De Gea struggled like the first 2 years, and everyone was like, "Yo, this guy's trash."
That maybe be the only hope is that he has a learning curve, but he's a monster of a human being.
The finishing and being in the right place at the right time and being cool, calm, and collected to finish a chance is something that I believe translates to every league.
Right.
So, yeah, I worry about how strong they're going to be. Doesn't really matter how weak they are defensively if they score 5 goals a game. And they have 85% possession.
Can run fast.
Right.
He's a bulldozer. He bulldozed Mr. John Stones over and scored on us.
I think it's going to come down to, obviously, when those two teams play each other, but also the games that are...
Oh, dude, that's Van Dijk on Holland.
It's going to be a dreamy,
I want to watch that so bad.
And it's going to be... Liverpool tied a lot of games.
Yeah.
So they need to win those games.
Right.
And City lost games and won games and didn't really tie many games.
Right, they got 3
So
points
it's in that
more
margin, I believe. But I think that to be a 2-horse race, but City will probably end up winning the league again.
Does anybody challenge in the Bundesliga?
Dortmund.
Does Lewandowski leave and then somebody slips in because they can't get the goal?
Would Lewandowski go to Dortmund?
No, I don't think so. They've already replaced. They got Sebastian Holland to replace their number 9 Holland, or Sebastian Holland for Haller for Holland.
He's on Munich or Dortmund?
He went to Dortmund, so they did the number 9 solving already.
West Ham sold him. He
was playing for Ajax. He scored a great.
Oh.
He scored a lot of.
Whatever
goals.
happened to him being at West Ham?
It didn't work out.
Interesting.
He had like a lot of goals for them.
No one's going to challenge Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Dortmund is one of those teams
they find the goals to replace him. Haller had 47 goals and 66 caps for Ajax.
It's pretty good.
Which is between 2021 and 2022. So yeah, it was very good. He had a lot of Champions League goals.
But he had no goal. He had struggled to score in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So that just shows you the difference in quality of leagues. And the Bundesliga is probably somewhere in between. So he'll score
He
goals.
was on Frankfurt before that. Obviously, you develop as the years go by. He had 33 goals in 77 matches. 14 goals in 54 matches for West Ham. But maybe he found his flow.
That's true. Now that I just thought of, you just brought that up, that would be the only team that I would be really interested in watching this year is Frankfurt. Because they have a really good thing going. They have a really good coach, a lot of really good players. They did really well in the Europa League.
Okay. They won it, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. They beat Rangers in like a shootout.
So obviously now they're going to be playing Champions League, which is going to be big for them. They're a historic club. They have a great fan base. Can they challenge for the title? I don't know. But is it going to be... It wouldn't surprise me if it's Bayern Munich, Frankfurt, and then like Dortmund, Mönchengladbach.
I think somebody has a chance if Lewandowski leaves and they don't replace that. But if he stays, even if he doesn't want to be there, he's going to score goals.
Yeah,
and it's over. So I'm going to pick Bayern Munich no matter what. I don't think anything changes.
I'll pick Bayern Munich, but I'm telling you, Frankfurt is going to be in that top 4.
They're going to earn it without Europa this time.
Well, they're going to earn it, I think, just because they're a really good team. But if they start doing well in the Champions League, they might try to pursue that also. It's hard to tell.
So, who's winning the Scudetto if you're limited Serie A watching?
My limited Serie A knowledge is like what you said. If Koulibaly goes to Inter,
checkmate.
But it'll be tight. I want to believe in Napoli, but they just
they're not going to be any better than last year.
And it's given to them, and they just drop it.
Yeah.
The team ahead of them drops points, and then they drop points too. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't see Milan winning it again. I think they're going to be around. They're going to be good too.
Yeah.
But if Inter's gotten stronger again.
Juve, I just think they're old.
Well, Chiellini moved on. I think Bonucci will still be around. They're trying to get rid of De Ligt for like $100 million to either Chelsea or Man United.
Well, they want Pulisic, right?
If they do dealings with Chelsea, that's something they want. I don't rule out Juventus because, from what I've seen of, I gotta look up his name. Their new striker. They got from Fiorentina.
Vlahovic.
He's a killer, man.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen. I think he could get it going for them. I think they're back in the Champions League real easily. Yeah, let's go. I'm going Inter.
I'll go with Inter too. I'll go with Inter as well. These are still early predictions.
Oh, yeah. Now you got La Liga. Real Madrid kind of dominated. Atletico Madrid faltered. Who the heck qualified? Sevilla, I think.
I'm going to go with Real Valladolid.
Going to win the league.
Yes, absolutely. No, I like where Barcelona's headed. As much as I hate to say that, I like where they're headed. I think they might do it this year.
If Barcelona sign Lewandowski, they're going to win the league. If they don't, Real Madrid repeats.
Yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that statement.
They're going to be around.
Yeah,
Barcelona's going to be around again, but they just didn't quite have the goal tally.
Yeah, I mean, with Ancelotti.
And I'd even pick it with just not knowing anything that Lewandowski, Barcelona loses this year. No matter what happens, if they keep that core, they're going to win it next year.
Yeah.
Like another year of like all those young midfielders just like in.
I would agree with that.
My gosh, dude. Pedri, Gavi, really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Xavi Hernandez, great manager.
One of the best.
One of the best to ever do it in Qatar. I think that's PSG. Right.
Yeah. They sacked Pochettino. Did you see that?
And they got the guy who.
What's their plan? Like, do they have a plan?
They want to win the Champions League.
How are they going? Why would they hire a manager who never did that?
Because they already tried it.
And then they hired a manager before that, Unai Emery, who never won it. Why? But that's their plan. They had Ancelotti. That doesn't make any sense to me.
They had Ancelotti.
Right, and then they had Ancelotti, and they had it, and then they just.
They signed the guy.
Who's their coach now?
I had to read.
Is it another manager who hasn't won the Champions League?
Yes.
Excellent.
Christophe Gaiter. He's French. But he was the guy who was at Lille when they won.
Lille.
When they just came out of nowhere and won the league. He was the coach.
So PSG is good for winning the league next year. Excellent.
Guaranteed. But maybe this guy knows how to. He knows how if he could do it with. I don't know.
That club is a joke to me.
Yeah.
They're just a joke.
Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe.
How many times are teams going to try to just build around the players and not build a system and then lose? And then you see teams that actually have a system.
Maybe this guy
win.
has the system.
Does he? Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
if he takes all the players from Lille and puts them on PSG, they'll win the league. But that's not what they want. They want to win the Champions League.
I was pretty excited at the rumor just because it's the only chance that they got rid of Neymar or moved somebody and they signed Ronaldo.
That would be interesting.
Just because Messi and Ronaldo now on the same team.
That would be wild.
What happens? I don't care what happens. I would
cool,
just want to see it.
Yeah.
I would just want to see it.
That would be a cool thing to see.
Do they get on? Does their elitist mentality does it spawn something we've never seen before, or does it blow up?
But just play dimes to each other and just score goals and celebrate together.
Right. It's just like they always were rivals, and they realized how much in common they had, and that they could really get along and just become the best of friends.
Maybe they'll do that when they go to the MLS.
They fall in love.
Imagine if they're both on LAFC.
I think Messi's going to Inter Miami.
Yeah.
But they would both go into Inter Miami.
That would be insane.
That would be so much fun. Then they'd come play at the Union, and that's when I would go. That's when I go usually see the Union. I can't pretend like I'm a real Union fan. I went to watch LA Galaxy when Ibra was there, and I wore an Ibrahim jersey. And he scored a brace. It was awesome. I went to go see them to try to see Thierry Henry. He was hurt for that match. It's very disappointing. That was back when. Oh man, Freddie Adu still.
Freddie Adu.
And
I wonder if he's in management nowadays.
Yeah, that's all the top flights. Now it's time for the real, way too early predictions of the World Cup. Which I have to pull up those groups. The World Cup will be competing with the NFL. Be competing with a lot of things. Because the leagues will be starting by then, right?
Yeah, they're taking a break.
Are they rescheduling when the league starts?
No, I think they're just taking a break.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to
they
basically
can't compete with that.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's November, half of December. They're off, and then the league is just going to be extended, so it won't. It'll end in late June, I think.
All right. Here's when we really get into it now. Group A: Ecuador, Netherlands, Qatar, Senegal.
Interesting.
I'm gonna be bold and say Qatar is out.
Yes, I would agree with that statement.
4th place guaranteed.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would be interested in watching their first game, see how they do. I always like that, watching the host country play their first game.
Right.
That's cool.
There's always some
pride, some drama, and some pride. So
I'm going Netherlands.
Yep.
And now I have to make a decision between Ecuador and Senegal.
Well, I think that game between them, Senegal is the better team, but I think I can't count Ecuador out.
Because Ecuador played really well to get here.
So I really want to go with Senegal because I really like that team. They have a really good group of players, but I think Ecuador is going to get through.
Netherlands, Ecuador.
Yeah, I think so.
This is where I start writing things down. Because we're going to come back to this, hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I really want to choose Senegal, but Ecuador, I just think they're going to win. I think they're going to get through.
Ecuador. Yeah, because Senegal won't have the laser pointers with them.
Right.
But I'm sticking with the Senegalese. Senegal will go through. Just going with Mane and Koulibaly. We find a way. Group B.
Here we go.
This is the biggest one of them all. England, Iran, USA, and Wales.
That's very tricky.
I can't even go. I can't guarantee a fourth place spot in my mind.
I'll go on my Iran spiel when we talk about this group, but it's not as black and white as people make it seem. This group, Iran is a very good team. They might not make it through, but they might also probably won't end up in fourth place either. So it's a really
Can
tough
I even
draw
pick
for the
England
US.
right now?
I know it's difficult. I mean, I think Wales is going through.
That's my heart.
I think Wales is. They looked so good against. Not good against Ukraine. They looked solid.
Ukraine made a lot of chances.
Right.
They didn't capitalize.
But it just.
Wales plays 5.
Wales has a
back,
great system, and I just.
And then they they rely on Gareth Bale to do some shenanigans.
I can't rule Wales out, and can I rule England out? I don't know.
I still haven't even picked one team to go through yet. There was a clip of the USA out there, and who did they play? It was a friendly against Portugal, I believe.
Who was this?
It was pretty recent. I'm gonna confirm this in a second. And it was like USA building out to the back. So I thought it was recent. Maybe it wasn't recent. I've seen something from a while ago.
Yeah, it's definitely not recent.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it didn't have to be Portugal. Well, it gave me hope, and I don't know if it was real. It was a very solid building out of the back, patience play, and they created a chance out of it. Now I'm thinking, oh man, I had that in my mind for no reason. All right. Do I believe that we will win? Could I go with my heart and be like, this is going to be the biggest upset, and Wales and the U.S. get out of the group?
You can do that if you want. I mean, I think it's going to be Wales and Iran. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever said, probably, but I genuinely believe that Wales and Iran will get out of that group. Gareth Southgate will get fired. England will score 1 goal in 3 games. The U.S. will get. They're going to get beat.
Group B. Wales
What's the games?
and Iran. Like, what order do they play each other in? I can look that up.
I think that's also important to consider. Like, if the U.S. plays England first, like the energy and excitement, they might.
England starts with Iran.
Interesting.
And U.S. will play Wales. And then.
See, I think England and the U.S. will struggle in those games.
Yeah.
I think England will struggle to score against Iran.
And then Iran gets Wales.
And the U.S.
Yanks
I think
and the
will lose
Brits
to
play.
Wales. So I think Iran and England will draw, and Wales will beat U.S.
That's how it'll end.
And then Iran and Wales will draw.
England beats USA?
I mean, so
They could draw.
England and Iran would have 1 point. Yeah, I mean, if England beats U.S. or the U.S. could beat England, they could have a great game. I said this before. They could beat England, have a great game, beat England, and still not get through.
Right.
And then it will come down to the final match against Iran, and they'll lose. People probably think I'm insane, but I genuinely believe that Iran will.
What'd you say with the first one? Iran beats England first.
No,
game?
Iran and England draw.
They draw.
U.S.
Yeah.
loses to Wales.
Gareth Bale hits a free kick.
Yeah, or something. Like a 2-0, they win. U.S. doesn't play well, blah, blah, blah.
Then they beat England, and then they don't get a result.
Then they beat England. They have 3 points. Wales and Iran tie. So Wales has 4.
And
Iran has
beats
2.
USA 1-0.
Yeah, and Iran, so they have 5. And then whoever wins England-Wales goes through. That's how I think it's going to play out. That seems like pretty sound logic in my opinion. And maybe I'll look like an idiot in a couple months.
I'll go out and look like an idiot. USA Wales. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Pulisic, Captain America.
All right, that's fair.
We'll slay England. And somewhere we'll scrounge out a point and get 4 points and go through. Maybe in second place.
That's fair.
Wales wipes the floor with everybody. Nobody knows what's going on. Gareth Bale's the best player in the world that plays in the MLS.
So you're going Wales, USA?
Yep. I have a soft spot for Gareth Bale. You know, he hasn't really. He's not what he was.
I just have no faith in England. And it's not like they have like 2 years to prepare. Like the World Cup is this winter.
Harry Maguire will be their downfall.
I think it's going to be a really bad tournament, and Southgate is going to be canned. And I love Gareth Southgate.
All right. I made it through that. I kept my faith in America. Not very convincingly. Group C, Argentina, which I just had was talking to Angela's cousin Ella on the phone. He's picking Argentina to win the tournament.
Wow.
And I thought that was lunacy.
Yeah, I don't go that far.
They just finally won their Messi's got his first trophy internationally. One of the worst finals I've ever watched. Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia.
Well, Saudi Arabia is going to end up in 4th. I mean, they might put up a couple good fights, but they're not going to.
I'm pretty convinced of that as well.
They're not going to do anything. Poland's tricky because they're notorious for having a lot of talent
and bottling it.
Very easily, Poland could win that group.
And very easily, they're in 3rd.
Right.
And Mexico and Argentina.
Right. That's really tricky. So it's who do we believe in?
The problem with Argentina is the politics of the squad picking, where like players that are playing great don't go to the tournament.
Interesting. Okay.
And same with Brazil does it too sometimes, and players turn up from like the local leagues, like some Boca Juniors players and like some Flamengo players for Brazil show up when there's like guys killing it. And I think it hurts them sometimes, but you know, who am I to say anything?
Yeah.
But they did win the Copa.
Right. It's hard to go against Argentina.
Mexico they never go past like the quarters, but like they're great at getting out of the group.
They always get out of the group.
They get out of the group.
And I think it's going to be Argentina, Mexico. I really do. I want to choose Poland because I really like Poland, but I don't think they're getting through.
I want to pick Poland too, and I'm trying to convince myself. I think if Poland is through, like that means Argentina didn't get out of the group.
Right. Because Mexico is showing up for the tournament. They always show up for the tournament.
And I think that could be like Argentina beats Mexico, but then Mexico beats Poland and Saudi Arabia
Exactly.
and wins the group, and Argentina loses their next 2 games.
So we're in agreement there.
Almost. But that's the thing. Like,
I know.
Lewandowski's last World Cup, probably.
I know.
Messi's maybe last World. Jeez.
I know.
Mexico's kind of on a fresh start, so if they crashed out the group, it wouldn't be as heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'd say Argentina, Mexico.
Let me log yours. Argentina's in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go against my own logic. And the old guys go in. Argentina, Poland.
Okay.
Somehow, Lewandowski gets a late winner on Mexico. Wills it into existence.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be wrong because I'm really going with my heart.
I mean, Poland did just get smacked by, what was it, Belgium? They
Yeah,
lost
it's a
5-0.
Nations League.
But that's what I'm talking about, and that's Belgium.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I will rue that decision.
Do what you want.
Group D: Australia, Denmark, France,
Tunisia.
Yes.
Tunisia, yeah.
France.
The Socceroos, wow. What a story.
I watched them against
the goalkeeper.
Peru. Yeah, they subbed in a dancing goalkeeper. Who plays at like a local Australian club. Just gets a couple saves.
I really like North African soccer. I really like Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria. I've always been really high on those teams. But for me, this is France-Denmark. It's pretty simple for me.
Yeah, France has got the stars, and Denmark is on a tangent.
They're
on a mission.
Yeah,
they're on a mission to be the next superpower.
When Christian Eriksen almost died, something happened to that team.
And now he's back.
And
they're
their
still playing well.
Spirit and soul kept him alive in the hospital, and now they're going to do something in this World Cup.
It's amazing.
We're not there yet, but I'm excited about
I'm ready to
about that.
root all the way through for Denmark.
Yeah, France, Denmark, I think. Denmark beats. I think it's
they beat France in the Nations League.
Right. I think it's France, Denmark both have 7 points, or that's how I think it ends up.
That one was probably one of the easiest ones.
Although I really like Tunisia, I really like those players. I just can't choose.
They'll be like Hungary. They'll show. They'll be spirited.
Yeah.
They'll be in the games, and then they'll ultimately not make it through. Costa Rica, one of the pride and joys of the CONCACAF. Germany, Japan, Spain.
That's difficult, man. It seems pretty clear cut, but it's not as easy for me.
I was watching Germany against the new Italian squad. I wasn't really impressed with Germany.
I mean, they won pretty convincingly, though, didn't they?
Not against Italy.
No.
It was a draw.
Who they beat 5-2 or 6-2?
Oh, I don't know.
They beat. I'm pretty sure it was Italy. They beat 6-5 or 6-2.
Oh, when they played them again, I didn't know that result happened.
It was recent.
because I watched them. They had a 1-1 draw, and then Germany drew England, then they drew Hungary, then they played Italy again. You're right. It was 5-2. Kimmich, Gundogan, Muller, and Werner had 2. But let me look at this Italian squad, because he might have. Yeah. Oh man, drama. Technical difficulties.
That's so exciting. Lost my microphone. That was awkward. I can't not pick Germany and Spain. Again, this group's pretty.
It was a new. The one that tied Germany was like a completely new Italy squad, and then he played another new 11 that lost. So I don't think it's as telling. He's really playing around with players, because they're not in the World Cup, so
right.
It's time to tinker,
and
experiment. But yeah,
I think it's Germany, Spain. I don't know who wins the group, but I think that they'll go through.
I feel like if anybody did it, it'd be Costa Rica. Yeah, I can't go. I can't not do that.
I don't know much about Costa Rica. I know Brian Ruiz is pretty old. Keylor Navas is pretty old. Joel Campbell's pretty old.
I just know Keylor Navas has always been great. And then they get rid of him at the club level.
Yes.
When he doesn't ever do anything wrong. He just is there winning, making saves, and like we just need a better goalkeeper.
Costa Rica could make it interesting. Like it might come down to the final day.
They got like that hungry spirit.
But I still think Germany and Spain go through. Yeah. I picked my crazy picks for this. With the Iran and Wales, that was pretty outlandish. But it wasn't. It actually makes a lot of sense.
A lot of drama.
There's a lot of logic behind those decisions. At the last World Cup, Iran was in a group with Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, and they ended up tied. They lost out on goal difference to not get through. They drew with Portugal. They lost 1-0 to France, and they beat Morocco.
Mm.
So,
shame. Ooh. This one's fun.
All right.
Group F. Belgium. Lukaku.
Yes.
Eden Hazard.
Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, the one who will show up. Canada. Top of the group, CONCACAF. Some nice striker play from them. Jonathan David and Kyle Larin. Croatia. The old man, Luka Modric. Morocco.
World Cup finalist, yeah.
World Cup finalist. Champions
Croatia.
League winner. La Liga winner. Okay. Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Morocco.
That's tricky.
It's the group, though, so Belgium has to go through.
But is it, though? Are they going to get through? I haven't been following Croatia as much as I'd like, so I don't know who they're playing. How much of this World Cup finalist team is still intact? Perisic is old. Rakitic is old.
Modric is really old.
Obviously, they have Kovacic. Strinic, is he old? How old is he? Is Subasic their goalie or not? Who are they playing? There's a really good.
So they tied France and beat Denmark, and then beat France in the last 3 games.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that lineup for when they beat France?
That's what I was pulling up.
Versalco's a great right back.
Juvicic is the goalie.
Juvicic. Okay.
I don't know Sutalo, Erlich, Stancic, Juranovic. It's the back line. Luka, Modric, Bronzovic, Kovacic in the midfield.
That's a strong midfield. That's a really strong midfield.
Pasalic, right?
Pasalic. Okay.
Pasalic. Plays for Atalanta.
He was on Chelsea Youth Academy, and they loaned him out and eventually never played him, if you believe it.
Ante Budimer. I don't know who that is. He's a striker. And then Josip Breckow from Wolfsburg. There's somebody else who was playing striker for them. Oh, yeah, like Kramaric.
Kramaric, yeah, and there's another player, too. I forget what his name is.
He subbed in.
Shit, I forget what his name is. Something short.
Yeah, but I know they have other players.
I mean, those are some good results. Tying France, beating Denmark, beating France. Those are some good results.
It wasn't France's strongest lineup.
Well, was it 1-0 or was it like 3-0?
It was 1-0. And then when they tied, I think when they tied 1-1, it was France's stronger lineup. But just you're not. I know it's Nations League, but you're not playing scrub soccer at least.
Yeah.
But that doesn't prove anything. It is Nations League.
Wait, what's the group again? Belgium, Croatia, Canada,
and Morocco.
Again, I really like Morocco. They have some really good players, but I just don't. They're going to be overmatched. That's a really tough group for them. So I'm going to go with, I think, Croatia, and I really dislike Belgium. I really dislike them. So I guess it's a question of, can Canada do it?
When's the last time they've done anything ever? It'd be a first. Am I putting you down for Croatia, Belgium?
Croatia, Canada, I think is what I'm going to go with.
Ooh.
I'm going to go on a big. The golden generation of Belgium bows out in an embarrassing fashion. That'll be the news article. Lukaku doesn't score in the group stage.
Oh, man.
And maybe they'll end up winning the World Cup, and I'll look like a fool. But I think Canada has a point to prove. I just have a good feeling about them.
The problem is that they start Eden Hazard all the time. And he doesn't do anything anymore. It's not there at the moment. Not that he can't recover it. But he shouldn't start.
Right.
I want to go with Canada. I'm going to go Belgium, Canada.
All right. That's reasonable.
I have the same feeling about Canada, even though they're unproven.
Yeah, I just have a feeling that they're going to do something. I mean, they're going to lose in the second round, I think.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't pick them over anybody else after that.
They're going to get through.
But that group's definitely. I'm not going to be surprised to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if other people squeeze in and bow out, it's like. It's
yeah.
gonna be I think they're going to be some tough fought games.
It could very easily be Belgium, Croatia, and we're overcomplicating.
Right. Got 2 more groups.
All right.
Group G. Brazil, Cameroon, Serbia, Switzerland.
Interesting. That's tricky.
can't not pick Brazil.
Right. I agree.
Something in me says Cameroon's going to show up to play. But Serbia for me.
Serbia.
Brazil, Serbia.
What's your reasoning behind Serbia?
I like how they look on paper, and Mitrovic has scored 40-odd goals. It's just the championship.
Right.
He's just scoring goals, man, and they're just gonna lump it into the box, and he's gonna put them in. They got some other decent players on that team. They've always been decent looking on paper and not really showed up. But you got Mitrovic, Dusan Tadic, there's another guy.
Well, Vlahovic is on that
Milinkovic
team too.
Savic, guy from Lazio. Luka Jovic, he just got kicked out of Real Madrid. He's not a bad player.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
Grujic, the ex-Liverpool guy,
playing with
Marko Grujic,
playing with Serbia in the FIFA World Cup game, and they're a 5-star team because they have so many really great players. But Switzerland I just can't not pick Switzerland.
The Cube.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be Brazil, Switzerland.
The Shaqiri score.
Of course he scores.
He's playing for Chicago Fire.
Of course he scores. He's Xherdan Shaqiri. He's going to score a crazy goal this World Cup. He's going to score a goal from either a free kick or 30 yards out. It's going to happen.
Granit Xhaka is a different player for Switzerland.
Yeah, I have to pick Switzerland. Again, that's a team that won't get past round 2. Although to be fair, that was always their thing. Was they always did really well in qualifying and could never beat the big team, and then they beat France in the Euros. Awesome. So
Serbia's gonna not be just the team on paper.
Okay.
Mitrovic's gonna get those 3 points with these goals.
I mean,
it's gonna happen.
Mitrovic, that's a compelling argument. He is a natural goal scorer. He just puts them in. So
Fulham's hero.
Yeah.
This was his breakout year. Now he just the belief in being everything I touch goes in will translate over seamlessly. And on let me go back to the last group. Group H, Ghana, which I don't know if he'll be there, but I think I heard Inaki Williams will be playing for Ghana. Just declared for them. I don't know if he gets into that squad because that means he wasn't really playing for them in qualifying. Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay.
That's tricky. That's a tricky one.
I want to go immediately Portugal, Uruguay. But they were not. Uruguay hasn't really been impressing me lately. But they look good on paper. I don't really.
I think Portugal wins the group.
Say that for them. I think that's all I'm going to go with anyway.
And I'm going to go with the crazy one here. Because of one man in particular who is always in form and so happy. South Korea.
Heung-min Son.
I just think the South Koreans are going to get through the group.
He's a guy who can just kind of do it himself.
If they play that style that Tottenham play and allow Son to be...
Just get in behind and run in on the ball.
They're going to win. They're going to win a game or two, and they're going to get through. So I say Portugal, South Korea. Ghana, I like Ghana. I really wish there was an African. I would pick more African teams, but
Same.
I just can't right now.
I got Senegal in. That's the only one.
So yeah, Portugal, South Korea for me.
I'm sticking with Uruguay. I remember nostalgically starting to like Uruguay because I just watched Diego Forlan in the 2010 World Cup. I was like, who's this guy with his beautiful hair kicking free kicks?
Fabio. Yeah. That was when they got to the semifinals that year.
Yep. They lost.
Cavani, Suarez.
Yeah, Cavani was handballing it off the line to beat Ghana. Cavani and Diego Forlan. Then I started learning about Diego Gotti and all these other people. But Uruguay looks good on paper. They have talent in the midfield, in the back line, the attack. They kind of just are the international version of Atletico Madrid in some ways. And they got the new Liverpool frontman, Darwin Núñez. I'd never really seen him play internationally.
Right. Neither have I.
Seen him very little bit for Benfica. But I'm a fan of Uruguay. Now, I don't really know how this all goes in terms of like the next round and stuff, so we'll wait till that happens. But who's your winner? Who wins it all?
I'll give you my semifinal, I think.
Because I don't know how the bracket lines
I know.
up.
I guess I'll say this. I think there's a couple teams that I think will be like in the conversation at the end of the World Cup. And I always love the underdog, so I'm really pains me to say this, but I think Germany, France, are going to be in the semifinal. Maybe not playing each other, but I think Germany and France will be there. I think Denmark will be there because I believe in Denmark. I think that they will be in the semifinals of the World Cup.
I believe in Harvey Denmark.
And I guess either Argentina or Brazil, although I can't rule out the Netherlands. So it's hard for me to say have an all-European semifinal with Germany, France, Denmark, and Netherlands. But
those are your four that go if it lines up for it to happen.
And I honestly don't know who's going to win the World Cup. I kind of have this feeling that Germany's going to win it.
Winning 2 World Cups of the past 3, right? That's what that would be.
But
2014, not in 2018, and then now in 2022.
Yeah.
Formidable.
But France could also. It's a toss-up for me. What do you think?
Got Ronaldo. Probably last World Cup. He could come back and be 42.
Be on the squad.
For all we know. Messi. Possibly the same thing can happen, but probably his last. Especially how he doesn't really get along with the Argentina Federation. Does Neymar play another one?
Right.
He's already talking about who he's giving the number 10 shirt to. Doesn't really like the pressures of the whole country of Brazil on his shoulders. Do any of the big names finally get one? I'd say if any of them did, it would be Portugal. I picked Portugal to win the Euros. And then they tax stifled for them.
Well, they did win the 1 Euros.
I know, but when I picked them to win is when they faltered.
They did win, yeah.
I didn't have a win in that one, when they did win.
The Russian World Cup made me realize that things are possible for these other teams. That's why I kind of want to think Denmark might have a chance.
Right. I want to go with the Netherlands. It's kind of a Liverpool bias.
Mm-hmm. They have a really good team, though.
The only it's the number 9 spot is the one thing that stops me from committing. Yeah, there's goals in the team, but there's just not that guy.
Right. It's Memphis Depay is their number 9.
And that's the issue.
Right.
Or Weghorst comes in. Or Bergwijn, or however you say his
Klaas-Jan
name.
Huntelaar comes back from retirement.
But then they didn't even do it when they had Robin Van Persie, so it's like doesn't always mean number 9 doesn't always mean that. But I like their system.
Yep.
Van Dijk is amazing. France has arguably still the best defensive midfielder, best young player, the Ballon d'Or leader, which isn't Mbappe, it's Benzema.
And Griezmann.
It's just a guy now. Doesn't really do too much, but you just have him still.
They have a
Still
really
good.
very experienced goalkeeper.
Very experienced goalkeeper. They've been there, done that in the Euros and the World Cup. That doesn't always translate, but do I believe in Argentina? Not really. I don't really believe in Spain or Germany.
Where are you at with Denmark? What do you think about that? With them getting to the semifinals.
I think they could do that. I really do.
Kasper Schmeichel. That man is not going to let goals in. Like, he's...
I'm struggling.
I know it's difficult. That's why I had to pick those 4 teams.
I'll go France, Denmark, Netherlands, which is what you have.
Canada.
I like that I asked you who's going to win it, and I can't even answer. I'm just going to go with the Dutch. It's very weak. And they crushed Denmark's dreams in the final.
Wow. So you think it's going to be Netherlands, Denmark in the final?
Van Dijk gets arrested for murder, and Christian Eriksen does die this time.
Heart palpitations.
It'll be like in the World Cup final 2010 where Xabi Alonso gets kicked in the chest. This time will be red card. No, I don't know.
Denmark beats France in the semifinals. Germany beats the Netherlands in the semifinals. And Germany beats Denmark in a heartbreaker in the final. But for all we know, Denmark could not even get out of the group, and we look like fools.
Yeah, there's probably teams that we're not even like we didn't even have coming out of the group. Ghana goes on, or
Yeah.
Morocco gets out of there.
I'm pretty confident in my who gets out of the group choices. Even the Iran-Wales choice. It's when the games start being played.
England makes it to the final again.
But it's what happens if
Ecuador.
Van Dijk gets hurt.
Right.
What if, Lewandowski is on a tear and scores, Messi's playing his most incredible. Ronaldo's scoring. Like, we don't know. It so much depends on what's going on. It's very hard to say. So,
All right, final answer: Netherlands.
Germany.
Netherlands.
Sorry, Nick.
Wait, he would like that.
I know. That's why I'm saying sorry. I don't want to make him happy.
Oh. I wonder, is he picking Germany?
We gotta ask him. One of my favorite moments of Nick and I's friendship was when Germany didn't get out of the group stage.
Which one was that?
That was when they lost to Mexico.
Was that 2018?
Yeah. It was a joyous occasion for me.
I remember that. I do remember that. Oh yeah, because that's when the U.S. wasn't in it. That's why I try to block out everything that happened. All right, let me save this document to see how crazy we end up being.
Are we going to go through and dissect each group? Or no?
It depends. I mean, we've been going for almost 2 hours already.
No, I mean like in the future.
Oh yeah, of course. I was just like, yeah. I mean, if you want to go, I'm not trying to go a whole another hour. But yeah, we can go through each group.
Talk about maybe like the next, like, you know what I mean? Do 2 groups at a time.
Yeah, do some research. Mm-hmm. See if I can. Maybe my opinions will change as we talk about them.
It also has to do with what's going on with the various leagues and players.
Right.
Maybe Mitrovic hits the ground running in the Premier League, and all of a sudden, I might be choosing Serbia.
So is that how it works? Like, it's gonna start, and then they take a break for the World Cup?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, that means anything could happen. Players can be getting hurt.
De Bruyne could get hurt.
That's crazy.
The only constant in this whole thing is that Lukaku will not score a goal in a big game. That's the only constant.
I don't really have to write down that prediction from you. You could just assume when I see Lukaku score, I'm going to look at you.
And I'll say who was it against, and you'll say,
well, they were already out, and they scored. He scored when they were already disqualified, when they were 0-2. Then he scores a hat trick in their 3-point victory that they still crash out. And then Roberto Martinez gets fired finally.
He gets found out finally.
You would like talking to Nello. He doesn't like Roberto Martinez.
Really?
It's like, what has he done?
Right, he's done nothing. He's done nothing.
I coach Belgium now, and I know everything.
But you don't.
I've coached Wigan.
And Everton, briefly.
But didn't he beat City in Wigan in like an FA Cup final? Or did they lose?
Yeah, no, they beat City in the FA Cup final, but that was like when City was hardly the City that they are now. I mean, it's still an incredible achievement to win the FA Cup with Wigan.
But then after that, he was that stock took him far. It's not that would have he deserved to be fired, but he had enough runs at it that I would have just tried to give it to somebody else.
Who is this?
Roberto Martinez. Yeah. You had a Euros, you had a World Cup, you had another Euros. Okay, we're gonna just see if somebody else can't mix this team, find a different way.
Because it's gonna be very different in the next World Cup.
Right. It's just all right, you're gonna try the same thing again. Probably not gonna work. And it's not even trying to crap on him. It's just you get somebody else with different ideas with the players you have that might be able to mix it together in a better way. When you've already seen them. You've been beaten. You've done well, made it far in some of them, but it's all right. Just like another coach can come in with the same team and all of a sudden, like, now there's better success. That's just what I would have liked to have seen somebody else give it a go.
Right.
With all those players. But yeah, that's been our soccer crap talking, early predictions for the World Cup. Just getting the first one down. I'll come up with a name for this segment, but this is the first one. I couldn't think of a name. It's got to be clever, but not too clever.
Not too clever.
Just like the right amount. I was just thinking, I can't call it No Problem. I don't like that name.
No.
But
for a lot of these teams, there is going to be problems.
Drama.
Right.
It's called the Drama Pod.
The Drama Pod. World Cup preview.
Soap opera soccer. But yeah. Just try to get more people on. Try to get Angelo in here. Obviously, in November, Nick will be in here. There'll be lights in here, so it feels a little more alive in here. The darkness is definitely affecting me.
It's alright. It's still good, though. It's
Feel
a nice
dead
little
inside.
spot. It's a nice little spot.
It's not hot,
No.
so I think I got that under control.
Yeah, it feels good in here. I mean, I'm wearing a sweatshirt for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
Start decorating the walls.
Yeah, get some lights out.
Some soccer
lights up
stuff.
here. I have a bunch of flags.
Oh, you don't have them up anywhere.
I have so many flags.
Bring
So
them over.
I have like Iceland, Bosnia. I have now. Don't. This isn't going to go over well in mainstream media, but I have USSR flag. Former. I have. It's a Yugoslavia flag.
Something wrong with that.
So I don't want to be canceled.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got Polish. I got Albania. I got everything you can think of.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'm
Thanks
ending
for
it.
having me on.
I got nothing to say. Just had to get this first one off the bat.
Iran is going through.